Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my update in my makeup rehab series in which I have points that I am allowed to use for purchases in my beauty collection as it pertains to the items that fall within my inventory. It's much of a game, if nothing else, and it was created on this platform by Steph from It's Just Stuff, and it is brilliant. It is a way to have a quasi low buy and make it fun for yourself, but also not deprive yourself of purchasing the things that you want to purchase to bring into your collection and not feel defeated when you do make a purchase and you're on a no buy. So I think that it is a spectacular game, and I started last year, and I will go through that in the beginning of the content of the video. But if that sounds like something you're interested in, please keep on watching. I would love to have you tag along for the ride. With that said, for those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. I also work in the beauty industry as a field leader for Ulta Beauty. Get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education here on my channel, but ultimately, I'm just out here talking about makeup because I like to talk about makeup, and I'm assuming if you're here on my channel, you also like to talk about makeup. So I'm hoping that you find that this channel is everything that you hoped it would be, and you'll want to subscribe before you go. And with that said, let's roll into this update to my makeup rehab series where I think I lose all my points. I haven't calculated yet, but I'm pretty sure all my points are gone, just looking at what's sitting in front of me. I am very, very confusing when I tell you how this rolls. So my suggestion is to go back and watch my last few makeup rehabs, or go to Steph's channel and watch Steph's makeup rehab series, which I believe will be linked down in my description box for you. She tells the story a whole lot better, but ultimately it's a game in which I am forcing myself to be on a low buy, but not depriving myself of being able to purchase the things I want to purchase. We do this via a point system. I gave myself some rules at the beginning of the year as far as what I was allowing or not allowing myself to purchase or not purchase. And we started this month with 18 points in the bank. I gave myself 20 points at the beginning of the year, so I'm really happy that there were still 18 points. I've only expended 2 points the entire year so far. That being said, I think I lose all my points this month, if I'm being humbly honest. Maybe not. There's a couple things that don't really necessarily count against me in the way that they should, but let's go really quick through the rules I made for myself. And Steph does a quarterly refresh of the rules. I think that's super smart. It's not something I allowed myself for this year, but it might be something I allow myself for next year because I think it's smart. Last year, I don't think I gave myself a whole lot of rules. I had 35 points last year that I gave myself at the beginning of the year. I don't think that there was anything on my no-buy list except for the mascara thing, but in October, I still had 47 points, so I depleted my points by half of what was left, leaving myself 20 points for October, November, and December, which is a big buying season for makeup, right? Because of holiday makeup, and I still didn't use all those points. So rolling into this year, I gave myself 20 points thinking that that was going to be plenty. In addition to that, I have several other rules. So I have a free month in September where neither purchases nor empties count for nor against me. I did the same thing last year. That is the month of my birthday. I do purchase a lot in the month of my birthday. Gratis gifts, gift purchases, point purchases, purchases for giveaways, and items that I receive in sub boxes don't count against me either. But I just canceled FabFitFun. That was the only sub box still in my, like, coming into my home. Like, I did get a lot of gratis last month. You guys probably already saw that video. I'll link it up in the cards for you. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's crazy sauce. I started with a 20-point balance. Like I said, I earn 1 point for every empty. I lose 1 point for every purchase, and my declutters don't count towards empties for me. My rule number 5 is sets, bundles, and boxes count as 1 point. I typically buy from like Sydney Grace every year in July because they do a Christmas in July sale. And typically in those sales, you can get like mystery bags or bundles included with purchases of a certain amount. Well, last year, one of those bundles included with a purchase of a certain amount that I did ended up entering 17 single eyeshadows into my collection. It's not fair for me to count 17 single eyeshadows against me when it's not something that I strategically purchased in the first place. So I don't count bundles or items that come in a box set together as single items. I count them as one item. My no-buy items are mascaras, liquid eyeliners, and face palettes. And if I do purchase any of these with my own money, they do count against me for 3 points. And then lip glosses, I have a 1 in, 1 out mindset with them. And I cannot purchase more than 5 blushes or 5 highlighters for the entirety of the year. Let's roll through my empties first because we're sitting at 18 points and I want to make sure we have enough points to talk through all the purchases that I made. 3 of the items in my empties, I only have 4. 3 of the items in my empties came out of my Project Pan series, one of which being my NYX glitter glue. This is a glitter glue that's been in my collection, honestly, for years. And I never thought it was going to be empty, but I did put it into my Project Pan. I did end up emptying it and actually ended up putting a hole in the nozzle. I don't know how that happened, but glue was coming out of everywhere. At the end of the day, it ended up being really messy, but I did end up using all the product in it. When I went to roll a new product in for it, I was going to grab a new glue of sorts and found that I actually had a pigment glue, also by NYX, in my drawers that was also empty. So that being said, this also is an empty for the month. Even though I don't know when I emptied it, I just assumed that I still had product in it, but nothing's coming out of it and it is very empty. The next item was this, which is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Liner. This one is in Midnight Cowboy, and I ended up taking the stopper out of this, which led to it being a giant mess. But with that said, like, there just isn't anything left in here to put on my eyes. What is able to come out when I swish the dude around in here is just all the glitter buildup on the side of the wall, but it's not the same kind of consistency as it typically is, where it's like a liner, it's gonna stick to where you place it. It's just like literally dry glitter. So this is considered an empty as well. And then last but not least is the Lancome Lashy Dole mascara that has been open and in use in my collection for about 4 months. I typically will use a mascara for 3 to 6 months and then call it done. This one has been in my collection for 4 months and it is definitely done. A Lancome Lashy Dole mascara, I don't know that I will ever repurchase, just because this thing is, when it's done, it's done. And that's all fine and dandy, but if it's the only mascara I have with me and it worked fine yesterday and today it doesn't work, it's gonna piss me off. So I don't know that I'll ever repurchase this again. But in addition to that reasoning, it also has it's really perfumed. Like, I'm not sure what the smell is on this, whether it's rose or what it is, but it's really perfumed and it drives my eyeballs bonkers. So I probably won't repurchase that. But with that said, we do have 4 empties that we're considering going back into the point structure for this makeup rehab. So that leaves me with 22 points, which I'm ecstatic about. So let's talk about a few things. So first and foremost, I did an Ulta purchase, but I also have a Sephora purchase on here. The Sephora purchase, you might have already seen most of what went into that, because I did my Sephora sale haul, and I believe that already went up. It went up last week, I believe. Same clothes, same eye look. Yes, I'm filming them back to back. That's how I roll around here. But I do believe that went up last week. So you already saw those haul items, but I am going to talk about them today a little bit, not ad nauseum, but a little bit. One of the haul items that I did bring in was actually something that I purchased with a gift card. So I did have a $75 gift card. A gift card purchase doesn't count for me. This product was an $85 product with my 20% discount because I am Rouge. It ended up costing, with tax and shipping and all the things, $73.19. So nothing, or $73 and something cents. So nothing ended up coming out of pocket for me. So this item doesn't count against me, which I'm super happy about because it is a face palette, and face palettes would typically cost 3 points. So this is a palette that I actually thought a lot about prior to purchasing it. There was this one and there was another one that was like blushes and bronzers. And I ended up purchasing this one because y'all know I go out of town a lot for my job. I purchased this because I'm out of town a lot, and when I go out of town, I have to pack a foundation, I have to pack a highlighter, I have to pack a bronzer, I have to pack a contour, I have to pack a concealer, all the things. And this is the HD Skin palette. It is a face palette that is a sculpting face palette by Makeup Forever, and it has all these glorious shades in here that can be all the things. So I have a concealer if I want a concealer. This is actually what I'm wearing today on my skin as foundation. This one is actually what I'm wearing today on my skin as contour. This would be a beautiful bronzer. This would be a beautiful bronzer that's kind of glowy. This would be a beautiful bronzer. And then these 4 right here are actually like cream highlights as well. So when I look at this palette, I see all complexion wrapped up into one little tiny hand size palette. So it was just so smart, and it is a face palette indeed, but it is a face palette unlike any other face palette that I have in my collection. And when I drew up the rules for this isn't the kind of face palette I was talking about. I was kind of talking about the face palette, the powder face palettes that I have like 80 of. Not really 80, but you know what I'm saying. It's a different kind of palette. But that, beyond all other things, I did purchase this with a gift card, so this doesn't count against me, but I did purchase it. So I'm super, super excited to have that in my collection, and I love it. Like, I used it today and it is beautiful. My skin, I think, looks so good because it's not caked with foundation. It looks like it's my skin, and I love that about that product. It's very lightweight. It's not super heavy. Secondarily, I did buy a couple things that I ended up taking back, and I'll tell you why. This I took back. It's not in here. I just want to make sure I show you. I couldn't find the box when I took it back, so they ended up using like my, looking up my purchases and refunding me that way. Have you guys ever tried this? Have you tried this yet? No? I am here to tell you, this is like lining your lips with gasoline and then setting it on fire. Don't buy this. This is quite possibly the most painful thing I have in my collection as it pertains to beauty. Like, what were they thinking? This is so painful. And I have to be honest with you, I saw absolutely no plumping happening with this. This is the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Lip Shaper. It's got 8-hour plumping. It's a lip liner. You line your lips with this and it burns. It burns like you just caught your lips on fire. I did purchase it in the shade Puffy Nude, but I ended up taking this back. So this does not count against me. The other thing I ended up taking back, I went and purchased it because when I was doing my Shop My Stash this last time, I thought, I have this lip gloss. I can't find this lip gloss. I thought I purchased this lip gloss. I'm going to go purchase another one because I was certain I purchased it. Well, guess what I did? I just didn't know where I had placed it. And that's what happens when you have a makeup collection as big as mine. Like, what? Why? Why am I double purchasing things? I don't need to do that. Anyways, I found it. It is the Fenty Ice and Cold Hearted lip gloss. It's just a clear gloss, but it's kind of got this like icy feel to it, kind of mentholy feel to it. I purchased one, I took it back. So because I found the one that I originally had in my collection. So that also isn't going to count for me because I did end up taking it back and just finding the one that I had in my collection. Okay, so far, 22 points is where we're at. Also from Ulta, I purchased these. So these are the 24/7 inks from Urban Decay. And I love them, but here's what I wish. I bought the green and the yellow. So the green is in Freak and the yellow is in Mucho Mucho. And I wish I had purchased two completely different shades. Number one, these are very cool. I love the packaging of these. These are so nice. They fit in your hands so well, and they're very ergonomic, so they don't hurt to try and put them on or whatever. They're probably longer than they need to be, let's be honest. But these really do look like the same exact shade on an eye look. I wish I had picked one or the other and then picked a different shade. So this is what they look like. This is the green one over here, and this is the yellow one over here. But those colors are just too similar. I should have picked two completely different shades. And if I'm 100% honest, I like the yellow one better than I like the green one. So that being said, I do have liquid eyeliners in my list to count against me as 3 points each. But I know when I made that list, I was talking about black liquid eyeliners because I have 20 black liquid eyeliners. I only have 2 colored ones. So I know that it's not about colored eyeliners, and I might be cheating, but I'm not counting these as 3 points each because I don't have multiples of these kind of product in my collection. I wouldn't have made that rule about a product that I don't have multiples of in my collection. So call it cheating if you will, but it's my game and I'm gonna play it the way I want to play it. And these are not counting as 3 points each, they're counting as 1 point each. The next product I have that I purchased, I think it's the last product that I purchased also from Ulta anyways, is this one here. This is the Too Faced Cloud Crush Blush. This is a blurring blush, and this is in the shade Watermelon Rain. Now, this is on my face today, much like the HD palette. I did a full face of everything new on my channel. You'll probably see it next week, but it is using a lot of these products. This is the blush that's on my face. So this is really cute packaging, right? It's super adorable. I love that the little latch here is also shaped like a heart. What I hate about this packaging is it is kind of hard to open. Of course, and now it's going to come open easy, but the first several times I tried to open this, I actually threw the product across the room trying to get it open. This is the shade. What I will tell you, and if you watch that video, you will see, you can go detrimentally ham with these. They're super soft, really, really beautiful. I do feel like it is a blurring blush. I feel like my skin looks really smooth on the cheeks. Now granted, I do not have problematic skin. My skin is not like, you know, pocky or anything like that in the first place. I don't have much for fine lines and wrinkles, but I am aging, so I do have some texture. I do feel like it is diminished using this blush. I do feel like it blurs it quite a bit. They are very, very, very potent. So if you're going to grab this Watermelon Rain shade, either you need to be very, very light-handed, really, really like blush, or you need to be a deeper skin tone than I am for this to look really good on you, because I went crazy. I got far too much on my brush, and it looked like I had been playing in my grandma's makeup. So I did tone it down quite a bit. It's really easy to blend out, really easy to use. Beautiful, beautiful application. Looks really great on the skin. It is really, really pigmented. So this makes my third blush in. I'm only allowed to purchase 5 total on the year. Let's talk about what I purchased from the Sephora sale. Here we are. with another blush. I did pick up the House Labs Color Fuse Blush in the shade Watermelon Bliss. Tell me why. I thought I needed two blushes that are almost the same exact color in the same month. Now, they're not the same exact color. One is definitely pink and one is definitely more red. But I would be willing to bet these present the exact same on my skin. One's called Watermelon Rain, one's called Watermelon Bliss. What is wrong with me? So this makes 4 blushes. So I'm only allowed 1 more blush for the rest of this year. How? How? I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know how that's going to happen. We're just going to cross our fingers. Okay. The next product I purchased was this. This is the Glossier Stretch Concealer, and this is a concealer that I purchased because of Lauren May Beauty. Like, to be honest, this was, and I think I've said this now 3 times in the 3 videos that I've recorded today. This is a beautiful concealer. I'm wearing it today. It actually looks like I'm not wearing anything on my under eyes. I think it is beautiful. It reminds me of a MAC paint pot in its presentation, but you stick your finger in there and it just warms up so quickly to your finger, and it's not like a putty or anything like that. It's like almost like a water-based paint kind of, and you put it on and you just kind of tap it in, and it just doesn't look like you're putting anything on your skin. And I think that's why it's also called the Stretch Concealer. It moves, it's breathable, it does all the things that your skin does, and it doesn't look like an added layer onto your skin. I did get the shades G11, which I think is the next to lightest shade. I think it was a great shade match for me, and I really like this concealer. I don't mind potted concealers. As much as I hate sticking my fingers in makeup, I don't mind potted concealers or like correctors in that way, because I do prefer putting those on with my fingers in the first place. So I am really happy about this. This is a really affordable product, honestly, and super excited to see Glossier at Sephora. It's a brand I've been wanting to try for years, so I of course had to pick up something that I've really wanted to be trying for the last year. The next thing I have is this, and this is the Rare Beauty Positive Light highlighter. This one is in the shade Exhilarate. These have been all the rage for quite some time. This one is kind of like a goldy champagne shade. It is what is on my cheeks today. This is the Positive Light highlight. It is just so pretty. I don't mind it, and it goes on your skin very smooth. I feel like it blurs much like the blush does. I feel like it is kind of like the Becca highlighter formula, but maybe even a little bit less powdery and a little bit more like your skin but better in application. And that's saying a lot because I love the Becca highlighters. They're one of my favorites. I think I have like 12. So I would love to get the pink one of these, but these are always out of stock. So there's that. And this also has a rule within my, makeup rehab, in that I can only purchase 5 highlights for the year as well. This one is my second highlight for the year. My first one being the Soul Main highlight that I wanted so bad. So this one is next, and it is the Valentino V base or V lighter. This could easily be considered a highlighter, but that is not how I'm going to use this product. It says it's a dual use, like illuminating base, right? It's a dual use product in that you can use it as a liquid highlight, but it's ultimately made for, a face base of sorts. So I did use this as a primer today, and that's how I'm going to use it in my collection. That's how it's going to be quantified in my collection. So I'm not counting it as a highlighter. I'm counting it as a glowy primer. It is the primer that's on my skin today. And the only thing on top of that is like my powder products and that Makeup Forever products, right? I think a lot of the glow that's on my skin today, besides, you know, of course, from the highlight, comes from this. And it's just pretty. It's not like greasy glow and it's not like glittery glow. It's just like a really beautiful, illuminated, like backlit face. I really love this product. Happy to have that. The next thing was something that I went back and forth with on whether I was going to filter it into my beauty inventory or no, because it's actually kind of a skincare product, but it's also a color corrector that I see myself using often, and it is the Ole Hendrickson Banana Bright Vitamin CC Stick. And so I did use this today to correct the discoloration of my eye bags, because I have eye bags. And what I would say is I do think I got apricot, and I do think that I probably could have went with the banana shade, the more yellow shade. But I feel like sometimes when I put yellow on my skin, it actually makes me look more like sallow. So I did pull the apricot one thinking that it would be fine. And then I put it on my skin and thought, oh my God, I've made a mistake. But it actually worked out quite well. I did put it on in the video that I've been talking about this whole time. So you'll get to see it in action. It's not bad. I am going to filter it into my beauty inventory as it pertains to points against me, because I will be using this as a color corrector, obviously, because that's what it's for. And I have a color correcting section in my makeup inventory. So there's that. And then the last two things that I purchased that filter into my beauty bank are two palettes. So I purchased the Melt Millennial Pink. This has been in my loves list forever, and I just have never pulled the trigger on it. And it was for sale, I think half off, and then some more off of that. And then of course my 20% discount for being rouge. I couldn't pass it up. It was like, ultimately, I think I paid something like 20 bucks for this palette as opposed to the 48 that it is when you want to purchase it. Actually, the packaging is beautiful. My friend Grace has this and she loved it last I knew. So this is the color story for this palette, and I really just love how it's really light pinkies and then gets really, really deep like gray slatey blues. I also love that it's got 5 shimmers in it, which is crazy sauce, because all my other Milk Cosmetic palettes like this, I do believe, have 2 shimmers, 8 mattes. And then I also picked up the Electrip palette, and here's the thing, like, I don't know a whole lot about this palette until I saw it on the Sephora website. I didn't know that this palette even was going to exist, but look at this packaging. I mean, this is really cool. This is really hard to read. Even in person, it's really hard to read, but it says Electrip. Like electric, but Electrip with a P, like puppy at the end. It's weird. But the packaging is crazy, like groovy, like 70s groovy, and the inside of the palette looks also kind of groovy, right? I mean, we've got like some red over here. It like filters into like some maybe like neutralish colors, and then down to blues, and then like this chartreusey green. I really do think like they were going with a whole vibe here. Obviously, that's how Melt rolls, but this one also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 shimmers in it. Like, what is going on, Melt? Also, word on the street is that this is a completely different formula for Melt. And I'm not necessarily sure how I feel about that, because I like Melt's formula, but we're going to see. Maybe it's a little bit easier to use. You know, Melt is kind of fickle. It's kind of a fickle brand. It's just very finicky. You just have to be very, very careful with it. With that said, 10 points that I am losing in just 1 month. So we had 18 points. We earned 4 from the 4 empties that I have, leaving us 22 points. I'm losing 10 points, so I'm gonna end up with 12 points. These 12 points have to last me the rest of the year. I'm a little shocked, actually, that I didn't lose all my points, to be honest. But I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that this was purchased with a gift card. So that would have been actually 3 points. these were not black, so I'm not counting them as 3 points each. And that I took back 2 products that I actually did purchase. But I'm a little fearful because 12 is not many. And I've already purchased 4 blushes, and I only am allowing myself 5 for the year. I'm a little fearful. I'm just going to say that. So with that said, I have 12 points. Don't see myself purchasing anything this month. And when you guys watch my Get Ready With Me that will come after this, I do believe, you will hear I'm moving. So like I just can't really bring anything new in right now because of that. So I don't foresee myself spending any money in the coming month or months, to be honest. Are you guys doing makeup rehab? Are you doing a low buy or a no buy, or, you know, playing a game with yourself in some kind of way? Please let me know. I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. Please don't forget to go see Steph. Wish her all the love on the planet because she is amazing. And maybe subscribe to her channel too if you're not already. But I'm sure that every single one of you is. Let's just go there. But if not, you absolutely should be because she is amazing. Let me know what you'd like to see as far as these 2 palettes go. Which one would you like to see first? I'll get it on the agenda for a palette roulette very soon. And yeah, guys, look out for the video that's coming. I will be using most of these products. So thank you guys so much for coming today. I appreciate every single one of you for being here. I hope that you liked it, and I hope that you liked it enough that you're going to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe before you go. I'd love to welcome you here into my YouTube fam. I hope that y'all are doing well, that you are healthy, that you're safe, and that you're getting along as best you can, that you are all loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, bye friends.